From Millennium. Current Terran Hope in WCS EU round of 8. And probably looking for quite a deep run here this tournament. You know, he's one of these players, he shows up, he always has the potential to do well, but he only sometimes really actually makes it very far. But he's on form right now, and let's see if he can move on through into the winners match of Group Stage 2. It's 4GG. The first to throw out the good luck, have fun is our Teal Protoss player in the lower right hand corner, representing Team Gravity, an American based team, but does quite a lot of work for them in their clan wars. It's SpaceMarine. Do not get confused, his name is SpaceMarine, but no, there is no Marine. He is Protoss. There is probes, there are Zealots, Stalkers, DTs, High Templar, Storms, everything else that we associate with the wonderful wonderful race that is Protoss, and yet he calls himself SpaceMarine. Don't actually really know why. I don't know if he played Terran in the past, or if it's got nothing to do with Marines being a SC2 unit or anything like that. I've got absolutely no idea, but that's his name, and that's what we will hence call him. He actually beat Madalisk not just once but twice to get himself here today. So yeah, pretty cool. And as you can see, he's starting with just a single gas here, so not going for a double gas, not going for anything too aggressive, nothing too cheesy, nothing too tech heavy right from the start. And he's just going to take this slow and most likely expand in the very near future. Looks as though 4GG is just going to be opening for Reaper, but most importantly, I think to note, he's got this single gas down in his main base. And that single gas, he's starting to actually pull out of it now. And what I was going to say, what I was actually basically leading on up to there was, it looked as though he was going to stay in it, but no, he pulls out, and that means he's probably just going to get his reactor down, add on his extra barracks here very soon after. And everyone's going to be nice and happy. There's that Reaper popping out, and that's going to go straight to the right hand side of the map as the SCV spots that there's no Protoss player in the upper left. So he's going to head on over to the right hand side and just find out that it is horizontal positions. And both players starting their expansion. Next on the way down for SpaceMarine, Command Center on the way down for 4GG, and SpaceMarine now heads into that second gas, which is also common for Protoss players. You know, very standard for them to say, right, well, you know, now I've got my Nexus on the way up, I'm going to need a little bit more tech, I'm going to need gas to do that, and so start getting that second gas. Very rarely, in fact almost never I would say, we see a single gas remain on for Protoss once they've expanded. It's going to be a Forge play to follow this up actually, and 4GG is going to spot this immediately, so this is really nice. Oh no, another ship core, that's not what you want to attack, buddy. Poor Assimilator. Pissed off the Mama there, and Mama ship core went to town on it, and this Reaper got a kill because of it. Lost the SpaceMarine, recognizing his mistake, and 4GG is happy about that too. Smallpox saying 4GG is going to walk over SpaceMarine hard. Yeah, I kind of feel the same. This guy's WCS EU round of 8. SpaceMarine is still struggling to qualify for Challenger League, and you know, I really do believe 4GG is pretty much just going to stomp here. I am not going to lie about that. But hey, we can't all get exciting games. I was watching the games get selected for the other streams, as we've got just +1 on the way and a couple of gates coming up for SpaceMarine. Pretty standard stuff. With this Sentry and Mothership core chasing this Reaper away. I was watching the games get selected for the other streams, and it got up until the last stream before I got to pick. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get Harston versus Sortov, which should be pretty sick. Harston's doing quite well for himself. Apparently Sortov's killing people on the ladder. And then the stream above me picked it, and I was like, oh, sad face. Alright, so, what's going up? Oh no, this Reaper's still scanning around, still not being killed off here, and that's mostly due to the lack of Stalker and the fact that SpaceMarine is opening with a lot of sentries. Now, one thing to note with opening a lot of sentries, it means it's very likely that he could go for some kind of big attack, you know, because he's going to have a lot of force field energy to force field off SCVs away from bunkers. But he just adds on a Twilight Council in the second Forge, so looks as though he's basically just saying, I'm not teching at all here, I'm just going to go and basically defend and tech up. Well, okay, I said, wow, I'm saying so many stupid things, but yeah, Space Marine is well. Let's talk about this attack. Then I'm gonna start correcting myself and stop talking rubbish. Oh my god. Well, he deflected that attack at least. 4GG actually just straight away walks away. So Space Marine is going to continue tech in terms of upgrades, but he's not actually adding on any kind of, you know, splash damage. He's not even getting Immortals out. He's not going for Immortals, Colossi, or High Templar for Storm quite yet. So, kind of really interesting. I wonder if he's just going to kind of mass gateways and just attack at a weird timing where 4GG may not expect it, but because at this point it's kind of getting to the point where it's a little bit late. I almost have to assume it's got to be a Templar Archives that comes down next, and maybe that's what this is. No, just more gateways. So maybe he is going to just go for a big attack. I mean, this takes it up to what, 5 extra gateways now? That's 8 gateways in total, 9 gateways in total. Okay, I think we know what's coming on here then. So it isn't going to be any kind of real usual tech. Oh well, there's a Templar Archives. Shut up, Wardy. I mean, he could still go for this big attack and just warp in some High Templars for Archons right as before he goes. And it looks as though that may be his plan, as he is beginning to move out here. He's pulling a probe as well. And them gateways are on their way too. He's not got that much gas banked up, so it's going to be mostly Zealots with maybe a couple of Archons behind. And look at this, 4GG, he just loads up 2 medevacs worth of units and he's going to head straight across the map. He's going to head straight across the map and just drop. And I mean, there's a lot of gateways for Space Marine to deal with this. But of course, then there's not much then that he's going to actually be walking in over here. 4GG recognizes an all-in is coming, throws down double bunker. And I mean, Space Marine should go now. There's literally nothing there. He's got, I mean, but his upgrades just aren't quite there yet. He doesn't quite have charge. And well, now he's warping in over here to deal with these units that are dropping. These Zealots, again, without their upgrades finishing, without that +2 armor, they're going to die pretty quickly, and this is doing a lot of damage over here, and this Nexus may just fall. Again, Space Marine has a lot of warping potential. He's actually attacked over here in the meantime as well, and lost everything. Oh, dear. Well, that will be game. Wow, I don't believe I actually missed. You know, this is one of them games where, as a caster, you look back at it and you think, yeah, let's just call this a bit of a write-off, because that was potentially the most god-awful cast I've ever done. First, I start talking about no tech and there's forges on the map. That was just... Let's just put that one behind us and just assume 4GG starts this series 1-0 up as we head into Game 2. Hopefully, I'll get some sense knocked into me by the time Game 2 comes around, and we'll be able to... see what happens. I mean, Spaceman just got trashed in that game. Wasn't even really close. And there's not much more I can say other than that. It really wasn't even close. By any stretch of the imagination. It was just straight up destruction. But hey, what can you do? So, we've got our invite into game number 2. And... what a surprise, it's Overgrowth. Overgrowth, clearly a very standard map, which is picked a lot. So we're just going to get into this. GG is called, and if these guys are ready, we should be able to go straight on into this second game right now. And if they are ready, 4GG is just asking if we're all ready. It just looks as though we're getting a French caster in here. And then we really should be ready to set our targets and go. Ready is asked again, and again we're just waiting here. That was pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's true. Let 4GG know I didn't cast the game properly, so it doesn't count. Well, I bet Space Marine was wishing that right now. Crazy. Right, there are now blue and red, which is a little bit nicer. It means we don't have to, you know, it means we don't have to do all of this nonsense. Who is who? Because the colours look the same, especially on the mini-map. We are just straight up blue and red, as simple as it can be. And we're getting into game number 2 on Overgrowth here. 4GG versus Space Marine. This is the first game which 4GG will have played in the DreamHack Open Summer. This is because he got a bye in Group Stage 1. Or he didn't get a bye in Group Stage 1. He got seeded directly into Group Stage 2. Along with a lot of the other along with all of the top seeds in Group Stage 2. And that is why he's here. Space Marine, of course, he played earlier, and as I said before, he beat Madalisk twice to be able to get into the second group stage, the round of 64. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a fairly decent result for him so far, and I'm pretty sure he won't want to stop here, but it's a tough group for him. TLO's in this group as well, I believe. I think Nerox is for My Insanity. So yeah, so Space Marine's got a tough time ahead of him, especially right now as he stares against 4GG from Millennium. And 4GG is one of these players who can do something crazy. So as Lakeen is saying in the chat, Proxy Starport Banshees, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. 4GG probably feeling pretty confident about this game. And looks as though he's just playing it safe though. He looks as though he's just going to get that Reaper out. And we'll see if he changes it. Maybe he just goes and tries to kill his opponent even faster by going for some kind of factory play, just a mine drop or something along those lines. Space Marine is our red Protoss player here in the south side of the map, southwest side of the map, bottom left corner. And he's again just looking to open up with a single gas. So it looks as though he's just going to play standard here once again and just expand fairly quickly, but then probably do something crazy on 2 bases as we saw in that last game. It was definitely different. It was definitely something I wasn't expecting to see, but it just didn't quite work for him. I mean, 4GG with that drop just completely annihilated him straight up. It was just like, the drop is just going to kill you, and that forced Space Marine to maybe even attack into them bunkers before he wanted to. And I mean, it just went wrong absolutely everywhere. Alright, so now we've got this SCV heading over here for 4GG. We've got a probe on the move as well from Space Marine, and he's going to come across here. 4GG may go for an engineering bay block here if he wants to. There's a zealot on the way, and that should be able to complete though. I don't think 4GG will bother with that, knowing that if he does start it, his opponent will just let the zealot complete. Oh, SCV goes down. A little bit of a mistake there by 4GG. That wasn't really, of course, what he was expecting, I suppose. As this probe returns home, it's scouted out gas and first and the barracks, so he probably knows that this is a Reaper that's coming out here right now. And this probe is dead meat. And it's going to start getting chased. Is it going to get back home? Is it going to survive? Little probey? No. Probe lost its life in the construction of this pylon. Not all probes have it easy. Some have to go out to the front line and, you know, fight where the battle is most dangerous. I should really stop trying to say stupid shit. Another Forge coming down for Space Marine here. So again, he looks as though he's just going to follow this expansion up, very standard, and just basically how he opened last game. This time 4GG doesn't spot this. He's trying to, but he just doesn't quite manage that just yet. And again, sentry first out of the gateway. So no Stalker, no Zealot, just straight into the sentry. And again, this indicates to me that he's probably interested in going for some kind of attack, because the force field energy has a long time to build up, especially if he gets more than one. I mean, one sentry you can kind of understand, he just wants the force field just in case, you know, get a bit of energy so you can force field away here while an overcharge does something. But if he gets more than one, then you start to think to yourself, well, what do you want this many force fields for? I mean, generally you only need a handful, because with photon overcharge, you don't really need to force field much past your front ramp at that one time in the Terran player comes. I mean, not as much as you used to need sentries. So I'm kind of intrigued, and I wonder if he's just going to do something similar and then just try and change it up at the last minute. 4GG in here, trying to get a couple more probe kills. He's on 2 kills right now, but that Reaper will now go down. Sentry tickles him to death with the tickle beam, typical ray of doom. And a couple of gateways going to be added on as well. Space Marine looking good. Back at home, 4GG with again this +1 with Stim on the way, double racks. And it's just a mirror builds from either player so far of game number 1 on Frost. So, I mean, 4GG is just probably going to say to himself, you know what, I'm just going to do the exact same thing here again. Just going to repeat, rinse and repeat. Whereas Space Marine, he probably could say that, but I get the feeling it'd probably end the same way, and he probably feels that way too. So he really has to do something here which allows him to, you know, be in a bit of a better position compared to game number 1, because when he went for his big attack in game 1, it really didn't work out. There's that Twilight and Forge again. 4GG trying to force the throw an overcharge here, but there's this pretty similar sized army as last time from Space Marine, and again it's just going to scare these Marines away instantly. Hallucinated Phoenix gets in, scouts everything, but then gets killed off by some Marines, so you know, no real surprises here, no real surprises seen by either side with the scouting that they're doing. They're just seeing exactly what they would probably expect to see at this kind of point in the game. And, well, that's just going to leave us with a pretty, you know, uninteresting few minutes here, where not too much is going to happen. Well, this is interesting, though. A third base from Space Marine, and this is going to be his way of changing it up. Now, last time he did take a third base behind his push-out. This time, he takes it much earlier, and what he's obviously going to try and do here, I feel, is just swarm his opponent's attacks. When 4GG sees this, he's probably going to try and deny the third base while dropping in the main, but I assume, because of the double upgrades, because of the charge, Space Marine's idea is just to swarm the attacks of 4GG with a huge ton of gateways. And, I mean, Parting actually used to do something fairly similar to this. It's not exactly the same, but he used to go up to 3 Nexuses very quickly. And when he went up to 3 Nexuses, he would then just add on 8 gates and attack. Now that used to be like a 1 gate double expanse. You'd go straight up to 3 bases, add on a ton of gates, and then just attack. And you know, you could generally buy enough time to start teching behind it as well. And that was really interesting. I can't remember. It was one of them IPL maps that it first really was used on, or my first memory of it is, but I have no idea what it was called. All I remember is that it looked like a teddy bear if the watchtowers were taken, or if you, it was maybe not if the watchtowers were taken, but if you just looked at the layout of the bases, it looked like a teddy bear or something. I really can't remember what that map was called. Double drop here for 4GG, exactly the same as game number 1, and it's going to come in towards this main base. This time 4GG is at home. Couple of Zealots already here, Sentry 2. It looks as though he's just warped in. Damn it, it's natural though, but he is pulling units into his main base nice and quickly. He's got that Mothership Core available to go between the 2 bases as well. Oh, he's going to lose his... yeah, he is. He's going to lose his Cybernetics Core. So, 3 damage done here by 4GG. Takes down the Cybernetics Core. Will stop any store production, etc. for a few moments. And it's going to be rebuilt almost immediately here by Space Marine. Now, what did 4GG see? He saw a ton of gateways. So, again... He's, he may not, I guess he's not afraid because he knows the army's actually at home, so he doesn't feel he needs bunkers just yet. So he should probably figure out that there's probably something else going on here. As he pushes forward, he sees no real tech is actually going to stem in. Throw an overcharge maybe could be used here, but it looks as though Space Marine is happy to just try and take this on themselves and sentries, but guess what? Bio turns out it can kite pretty well, and that's exactly what's going on here. And during this kite, he's actually going to end up spotting this third base, and these Zealots are all going to go down, and now the third base is just going to be under attack. Sentries are going to fall as well here, and throw an overcharge is going to have to be used, and it's used on the third base. And I mean, 4GG just actually walks straight out of that. He's not sticking around to take free damage, is he? No way, no point in doing that at all. So 4GG is going to get out of here, and it looks as though he was maybe dropping in the main base again at the same time, but didn't achieve too much because of the units in position. And, I mean, 4GG continuing to just rally across the map. Now, Space Marine has lasted longer than he lasted in Game 1. Of course, he's gone for a complete kind of different strategy here. He's now having a robot facility. He's about to have Storm. So, the splits of 4GG need to be really, really good. Otherwise, these Storms are going to decimate him. How far away is Storm? I can't quite check. It's just about to finish, I think. It can't be too far away. It's literally seconds away, but 4GG is just attacking until it's ready. And now, maybe, yes, beautiful Storms all over the army. And that will severely weaken the Terran, but will it be enough? There's not really that many Zealots left over. Space Marine floating 1,000 minerals. How do you float 1,000 minerals when you've got 9 gateways? An Archon and the rest of these Zealots, I don't know if it's even going to be enough. I mean, there are 2-1 upgrades, but it's against 1-1 upgrades. And, oh no, 2 mines here, and that takes down the Archon very, very quickly, and Space Marine is starting to fall to pieces. He's just not spending his money, and if he'd spent his money during the first attack, you know, he would have cleaned this up. 10 more Zealots with them Storms would have been beautiful. But it doesn't matter, it was too late, and now he's whopping in more Zealots, but they're just going to run into their death. They've got nothing to kind of back them up, and the damage is more or less done. He's slowing down the game. But, well, that could be game here. Probes even. Oh! 6 and 8 kills. The probes. Oh my god. that was a disgusting way to finish this game. 4GG is just reinforcement of a few units at a time here, walking back into his mines. And 2 mines on the probe. Disgusting. Wow. And Space Marine again, he's just kind of waiting to figure out when the best time to type GG will be. You know, is it better to do it now before the Zards run in, while the Zards are fighting, or once the Nexus dies? So just gonna keep on. I mean, it's still got 1.2k 800, but GG, well played, called. And